The So what's a perfect debate for Trump? A perfect debate for Trump is one where first of all, one that isn't a radical game changer in some extraordinary, unique, unprecedented, unparalleled way, given that the fundamentals favor him in this election. Check. No dramatic game changer took place last night. Second is that the issues that are discussed, the substance of the debate, is on your issues, the issues that favor Trump. You want those issues to be the priority issues, to be the centerpiece issues, to be the main issues discussed and debated in the debate. And third, the added little bonus, you want the viral moment to be a moment talking about your issue. And this is where media and others constantly take the bait. It's always fascinating to me. So when I was on with Richard Barris, I was encouraging Team Trump to have Trump cite people eating pets in Springfield, Ohio. The reason was twofold. One, you're talking about, first of all, if people are even discussing are or are not illegal immigrants eating people's pets, that's called a winner for Trump. There's no scenario in which that is not a winner for Trump. So that's number one. Number two, it's so visual and visceral that it's going to naturally be viral, especially because the media can't help but take the bait. The media would spend all their time. It's like asking, when did you stop beating your wife? Right? If you're running a bunch of fact checks, no, I never really did beat my wife. Well, what's people's image in their head? It's about you beating your wife. Right? You've lost. Right? If the topic is the wrong topic, you've lost. This is where Trump doesn't benefit from worrying about fact-checking about Charlottesville and all the other hoaxes, because they're still thinking Charlottesville, bad for Trump. They're still thinking whether Trump said something bad about the military, bad for Trump. Right? None of those things is fact-checking is good for Trump to harp on. He always takes the bait on correcting things. That's just who he is. That's always going to be a limitation on his presentation capabilities. But I knew that the issue was too visceral, too visual, and too easy for the media to take the bait. There were news headlines all around the country, all around the world on that topic. Number one topic discussed post-debate, number one issue researched on Google post-debate, are Haitians eating people's pets? So exactly what I predicted would happen. It's exactly what did happen. So on Harris needing a game changer, complete failure. Now let's talk about the substantive issues. The substantive issues that Trump wins on are economy/inflation, immigration, and World War III. That consumed about 90% of the content last night. That is by definition a winner for Trump. One of my favorite old debate lines, Walking Lawton Childs, governor of Florida, against Jeb Bush, 1994. I think he held on, as I recall, to win. But he told Bush, son, you don't talk about rope in a house where there's been a hanging. It's what my brother taught me when I was in high school. Actually, junior high. About debate. He who defines the terms wins the debate. Frame the issues that are on your side. Trump understands this better than anybody. That's why he kept coming back to it again and again and again and again and again. Didn't matter what the question was, came back to it. This is what he did in the first debate. Over and over and over and over. Those are issues where Trump's lead on Harris grew after the debate. Even according to CNN's polling, which usually is totally rigged in these debate situations. Trump had a 20-point lead on the economy, bigger lead on immigration, bigger lead on issues of security and safety for those that polled it. And that's the number 3 issues driving the election. Those are the 3 core fundamentals of any presidential election. Now, sometimes they're neutral, and then other issues decide, but that's not this election. So it was perfect for Trump on what you would see is people would say Trump won the debate, that Harris won the debate, and yet when they talked to undecided voters in focus groups and follow-up surveys and live doing temperature measurements, every single one of them toward Trump, toward Trump, toward Trump, toward Trump, toward Trump. And in fact, they actually said what I predicted they would say an hour before. They said, well, I expected Harris to answer some economy questions. I didn't get any. I was holding something open, and where was the substance? Under Trump, I had it a lot better. What do they mean it was worse? Right? So, because people care, and this goes to the art of persuasion. But one last component on both the viral, visceral issues and how Trump works in terms of framing the issue. The best example of this all time is Cinco de Mayo tweet. If I had told people before the tweet went out, it's like Trump is going to get institutional media that hate him to share a tweet around the world and a photo image around the world about how he loves Hispanics and he loves Mexicans. Trump loves Mexicans. Visual headline. You would have said, no way. And yet that's exactly what Trump got. Because they were so obsessed. Trump knew, okay, how do I troll the media, bait the media into telling the world I love Mexicans and Hispanics? Oh, I'll just put the Cinco de Mayo, I'll do it on Cinco de Mayo, and I'll do a little taco bowl from Trump Tower. And they'll go, he thinks a taco bowl is Mexican? Oh, but they can't help themselves. Just like you could see they were shaking last night with rage and anger and jest when he said, they want to eat your pets. Because they can't help it. And it's like, if you're smart, you leave that issue alone if you're the media. Skip it. You move on. Like, here's what I would have been worried about if I was in Trump camp. Harris comes out, doesn't talk negative about Trump at all. Doesn't make the election about Trump. Says what she claimed to be saying at the end, but actually does throughout the debate. Talks about how we're going to reach ordinary people. Second, comes up with a dramatic proposal that really changes the race. I'm going to get a peace deal in Ukraine in 2 weeks. I'm going to get a peace deal in the Mideast in 2 weeks. I'm going to go down and shut down the border tomorrow. I'm going to be sending checks to all Americans who've been unduly stressed and demand Congress authorize checks, stimmy checks, $10,000 a family household because you've been suffering too long. That's what I would have been worried about. A true game changer on core issues. Of course, they can't do that because they're locked into their neoliberal, neocon wedding of death. Right? Her doing Hillary 2.0, that's exactly what Trump needed. The other reason, though, it was perfect for Trump is I wanted the media and Harris supporters and the Harris campaign and the Democratic Party to believe that she hit it out of the park, to believe that Trump is now DOA, to believe they're marching on to Election Day, to believe they're going to sweep the House, the Senate, and the White House. Because that way we get less risk of an actual game-changing move that might dramatically upshift the election, and a much lower risk of a real October surprise. So I want them thinking, yeah, we're doing great, we're winning. Look at Drudge. Drudge was so happy. Drudge Report is not Matt Drudge. Matt Drudge doesn't do anything with it. He has no connection to it. He sold it many years ago. He's kept it secret for years because that was part of the deal. All these people mad at Matt Drudge. He has nothing to do with the Drudge Report. Hasn't for years. Okay, it's institutional media that runs it now. It's a psyop operation of the institutional media narrative. It sets the institutional media narrative every single day. I check it out so I know what the institutional media narrative is. And I was really hoping that the Drudge Report would be drastic and dramatic, that Trump was DOA and Harris was in like Flint after this debate. And that's exactly what they did. It's exactly what they said, that Trump, it's Trump's own 9/11. It's not Trump 9/11. It's the end of Trump. I want them to, like, there's a lot of people who keep saying, hey, Barnes are going to be up to something. They must know they're losing. No, they don't. These people live in such a tiny cocoon. They have no idea of how the real world thinks or operates. So that's why it was the perfect debate for Trump, to really win on the merits, not worry about the style points, but let the media think, and the Harris campaign, and the Democratic Party, and the deep state think they're in like Flint. Because then we have less risk of real craziness come election day. Now, that